is our Bible art journaling process video for Ephesians 2, and I just wanted to show you something here. We did our Bible art journaling process video for Ephesians 1, and there's that right there. I will link in the comments to the video for that in case you missed it, so that you can check that out. But you'll notice that chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and Chapter 4 are all on these 2 pages, which means that if I Bible Art Journal 2 on this page, then I won't have room for 3 and 4. So I'm going to make an insert, a tip-in, basically, that gives me an extra page here so that I can do 2 on the front of that, 3 on the back of it, and 4 on this page. So when you see me creating an extra page to stick in my Bible, that is why. So let's head on over to the table and we'll get started creating our Bible art journaling entry for Ephesians chapter 2. Take action, a part of the team. Okay, so here we are at the Bible, seriously sped up, going to Ephesians 2, and I'm just testing out a template I made out of cardstock for a full page tip-in. I'm tracing it onto some freezer paper because I wanted to give that a try. I like the texture, I like how thin it is, how thick it is, how it kind of gives and will fold with the pages. I'm taping this over an image that I found. It's a photograph of some little girls huddling up together. I like the thought of a huddle, like they're a part of a team that is about to take action and they're huddling up to decide what they're going to do. And I just really liked the picture, but I was intimidated, I guess, about drawing all 3 of them freehand. So I got this photograph off of pixabay.com. and I turned it into black and white and up the contrast so that I could see it through the freezer paper. And now, of course, I'm just doing a line drawing in pencil where I can erase of the main parts of this picture. I am not going to do all of the minute details of it, but just want to get the idea of the 3 girls huddling up as a part of a team. I couldn't see all the details, all the shading and whatnot through the freezer paper, so I just took the picture out from under after I had the main lines done to add a few more details and some shading. And now I'm taking some black micron pen and just going over those pencil lines that I made. I like the look of the black micron pen because I feel like it finishes the look of the drawing. And I know that I'm going to do some watercolor pencils to kind of color in this and add some more depth to it, but I've never had any trouble with my watercolor pencils or these micron pens reacting to the water of the watercolor pencil. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that first. And here I am, I wanted to do a little bit of word art. The word team, I wanted kind of a sports look, block lettering for the word team. And this was actually, you are really glad that this is sped up like 8 times the speed I did it, because I had so much trouble with this for some reason. I don't know, if word art really just kind of stresses you out, you could easily find block lettering stickers to do this with. It would have been way easier for me, but I was determined and I could not figure out why it was causing me problems. But you'll notice that I like erase and write and erase and write because I just had a lot of trouble with it. So here I am putting that in. I love the idea of a part of a team, that God has given us a mission to do his work on the earth, and he has not left us alone to do it, but has put us into a team. And here I'm doing the same thing with the words that I did with the picture, outlining that pencil in black micron pen. Ephesians 2:19 says, "So then you are no longer strangers and aliens, but you are fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God." You are part of the team. So I've just written part of the in pencil and then went over it with black micron pen. Now I'm just thickening some of the lines of those letters. I just like the look of it. It's kind of just very simple word arty type stuff. Now I'm going to start on my watercolor pencils, and I wanted that blonde hair on the left hand side, so I erased some of the pencil marks that I had made over the drawing, and I'm just kind of giving about 3 different colors in each hair that I do, 2 to 3, and so they can have kind of a streaky, not all exactly the same color look to it. I want to keep those lines going down like hairs so that when I just use a little bit of water, I'll get those streaks in the watercolor even. On this middle coat, I wanted to go for something kind of like pink with like little flowers or cherries or something. So I'm making those dots, but you see I get a little, I don't know, tired of making those dots. So I go and do other things and then come back to it. I'm going to make them in this color. And then when I'm done with that, you'll see me pick up a different color that's very similar, but just a different color pink, and add in some of those all around. Then work on the blue of this scarf. And I kind of wanted 2 different colors of blue in this coat on the right as well. So I started with a lighter color blue, and now I'm filling around it with a darker color blue. You are seeing this like 8 times the speed that I actually did it. It took me, you know, a fairly long time compared to this. Because I am not this fast. I'm pretty slow, and I was just enjoying myself. There's green on the coat on the left, and now I'm adding some bright green little dots for the leaves of the flowers or stems of the cherries or whatever, and some green pants to the girl in the center. I wanted a kind of a red look. It feels like sports to have red letters in those block letters, so I colored those in with the watercolor pencils to add a splash of color up top. And then you see me kind of grab a little brush, and I'm just adding a tiny bit of water to these. If I add too much water to the letters, it's gonna go past the black micron pen. And occasionally you'll see me dry something and then erase it. If I do it right away, that works with these watercolor pencils, which is really handy because I make mistakes a lot. And so now I'm doing the hair, and see, I just did it. I dried that up and then erased a little bit because I got outside the black micron. Doing the brunette up here. I got a little, like, I pulled too much color from the top and then had to work backwards a little bit. It still looks a little light on the top of her head to me, but, you know, I don't mind it too much. Didn't bother me too much, I guess. So now turning that green coat from colored pencil look, and I noticed that I hadn't done the hands yet. So I went ahead and grabbed my watercolor pencils and put 2 colors on those hands, and then I was able to apply water to them. Applying water to those, again, not a ton of water, because it kind of sits up on the page too much and moves around too much. But if you do a little bit of water, it's easier to control. Sometimes, though, I needed more water than I originally started with. On this coat, I really didn't know exactly what I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted to keep the background white or go with more of a pink, but when I started doing that right hand sleeve, it spread around more on me, so I got a light pink background. So I started adding more water to the center coat so that I could get these dark splotches, but I would have a kind of an even lighter pink background. So that's why there's more water going on to this center coat. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but it's a little bit wetter on that. But I was pretty happy with how it came out. It does kind of look like there's a hint of flowers. And then I looked at it and I thought it looks a little too plain, so I thought I'd add some blue of the sky. There's about 3 colors of blue, a little bit darker on the bottom, a little bit lighter on the top. And now I'm just taking a little bit bigger brush and some water and spreading that around, giving the impression of there just being a little bit of the blue of the sky all around this huddle of girls who are part of a team. And that kind of really finishes it up. I'm going to take my heat gun in a moment and dry this out because I'm not very patient letting things dry. But here's the blue of that. I am loving watercolor pencils because I can control them better than I can control just watercolors. And this is my industrial gigantic heat gun. It just dries it really quickly. You notice that now it's completely dry, and I'm going to put it into my Bible after I letter Ephesians 2 at the bottom and the date at the top, so I can remember. And then I had a little bit of trouble with the washi tape. It was sticking to everything. It was a little harder to work with than some other washi tape that I've used before, but I liked it because it said I love you. And so I did it on the front and the back to stick it in like an extra page of the Bible. And there it is, part of the team. I'm glad you're a part of our team here studying Ephesians at devotioninaction.com. I hope you enjoyed the video.